the Sasquatch howling in the night. Paranormal beings come out to play. Feel that chill upon your neck. But do not fear when the Rougarou barks, because we'll follow you into the dark. We'll follow you into the dark.
Into the Dark contains subject matter and language that may be unsuitable for younger listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, greetings, and welcome to NWCS Into the Dark podcast. This is our 49th episode. Big 49. Where's 49. Rob? Where's Rob with the whistling? He always goes, Rob? Still not here. Still not here.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Skinwalkers. All things Skinwalkers.
I'm all in. It had that vibe.
Yeah. The PD vibe. Skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Danny, what do you got for us?
Well, who's with us today?
Good talk. Good talk. In the studio this evening, we have myself, Scott. We've got Tab.
Hello.
And all the way from, we've got Danny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I don't have an intro.
Yeah, you just say me or...
Yeah, and me. Me, Scott.
We tried that in one episode before.
For me to have a saying?
Yeah, we flipped the script.
Yabba dabba doo!
No.
What happened to Ahoy?
Intro.
Tab, you were Ahoy.
Yeah, what did
I
happen
thought you
to
guys
Ahoy?
didn't like that.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was so Tab. Ahoy.
Oh. It's actually more Troy, but no one knows Troy.
Yeah, that's true. You've just assumed it.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work on that by the end of the episode as the outro is playing. So this is a teaser for everyone listening. Mm-hmm. Listen to it all the way through to the end, because before we say nighty-night, I'm going to say what my thing is.
Oh, you have a thing?
No, I don't. But as the episode is going, I'm going to be thinking of what my intro, howdy doody, or
okay.
So
throughout this podcast, you'll be thinking of
I'm going to be
on the outro,
channeling my
isn't
my intro saying
through the outro,
right through, but it's going to come. My intro is going to come through the outro.
Okay.
So if you listen,
so that's going to be an editing nightmare.
yeah,
something like that.
Who do
Isn't
you?
the intro your intro?
Who do you?
I think the intro is your intro.
Well, that's the podcast intro. It's not my intro.
It's kind of,
Whoop-de-woo.
Right. You do say greetings and welcome.
I know.
You do.
But that's the podcast intro. That's not.
Not your...
And in the studio tonight we have Scott.
They're one and the same. All right. Well, we need to get you a thing. I think it sounds like.
How about and it'll be on the soundboard. That way it doesn't.
Yeah.
And you can sample it like
right
at random,
like a rap song.
Hi.
People can break dance to it.
Loop.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be famous for
Play
it.
it over and over and over again.
Spicy meatballs.
Wow.
Did you ever watch that series, Danny?
Just no.
Very
just keep thinking about it.
spicy meatballs. Anyone know what that's from?
No.
Very obscure. I'm surprised, Danny, you don't know what this is.
Captain Caveman.
We're getting off topic just for a moment, but there was a TV show on. I think it made it 1.5 seasons. Not very good at all. It was called Small Town Security. And it was like you have to watch it. It was a lot like Tiger King, where it's a legit security company in Georgia.
Yeah.
And they're just a freaking mess. Now, I'm sure a lot of it was for TV, but I researched it, and they are legitimately a security company, and everybody in this series was part of... Are we allowed to talk about stuff like this on a podcast, TV shows and stuff like that?
Why not?
Whatever.
Why not?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
a free country, right?
It is an amazingly awkward... Danny, you would love it.
Yeah. Small Town Security.
Small Town Security. I had... what was it?
You got like beer belly...
It was crazy. just the different characters that are within this, and they're all real people. Like it turned out that
Wow.
they're legitimate people, but like the chief, the owner of the company, the chief was just a wreck, and her husband was a whack job. It was a great, great show. Obviously not that great because it only made it to a season and a half, I think.
You could relate to it.
No,
Oh.
but it was. It had such comedic moments, Danny. I think, with all of us being in sort of that similar industry, I think that you would appreciate it, Danny.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Small town security. It's funny. Like the first few episodes I watched, I was like, "This is ridiculous." But then, much like Tiger King, it just
got sucked in.
Yeah, it sucked you in. Where were we? Where were we? Skinwalkers.
Anything new?
Anything new
security.
with the group?
No, not a whole lot new, I think.
Not since our
back
last
to
episode
podcasting.
18 minutes ago.
Right.
Yeah. We're back to podcasting again.
Yes.
so-
Yes.
Yep. We gotta get back on the algorithm.
Have I mentioned our new studio?
Yes. Yes.
You know what else is new? These cameras.
I know.
We have
Now we're being
we have state of the art cameras in our studio.
People can see us now.
We have
got
Gary and Mark
this right here.
and Travis, our production crew.
Right.
Yeah.
And
they work tirelessly on this
yeah,
set.
Noel, David, and
Yep.
Justin over there are audio.
Who's the guy with the cue cards?
Oh, hello.
Hey, Justin. They're
Yeah.
How's it going?
Miguel, our
guy's
note
name?
guy.
What's the guy's name with the cue cards?
Oh yeah, you do have a note guy.
Yeah, we've got a note guy now. I mean, we're moving up.
Right.
We are moving
Wow.
up. Yeah.
That
Do
is
not lose your
impressive.
notes now.
The guy that does the snapping sound on the little click thing.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
It messes up my editing.
Oh, not your editing. Our crew.
Yeah.
Our crew's
The editor.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that, David.
We
and
don't
Justin.
do that. We're the talent tab.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
the talent. We don't
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Skinwalkers. Danny, what do you got?
Skinwalkers. Yeah. So, I'm going to tell you a little story here. What research I've done on this topic, and I'm going to qualify this just like any other time and say, Danny's not an expert.
No, but
I'm
you
gonna
are the
provide
expert
you-
right now.
yeah. For this moment, I'm going to provide you a version of what I understand Skinwalkers to be. So bear with me as I walk through this with you. Walk
Speaking
through
of
this journey with
Skinwalkers,
me.
Danny,
Yeah.
you know who we should have probably invited as a guest on this?
I was thinking of that.
What's his name? I know his name. I just want to see if you know his name.
I want to say the right name because I know he goes by that certain name. And
It starts with an X. Is
Cryptid. Cryptid is what he goes by, right?
Oh, doesn't he? Xavier? I think that's. Oh, is that his real name that we're not supposed to say?
I think
No,
last
it's
time he
fine
was
now.
on-
He's fine now.
Xavier.
Is he
I'm
fine
sure.
now?
I thought it
I'm
was.
sure he's fine with that.
I thought it was Xavier Hunter.
It is. Well, Cryptid Hunter is his,
Oh,
yeah.
is his
Anyway,
handle. But
so we're all thinking of the same guy.
yes,
our pal, the Cryptid Hunter,
yeah.
from formerly from Nevada, now in Colorado, I believe.
Colorado. Yeah, that's
we
right.
We should have had him on this because
We need
he
to
is
catch up to him
a
anyway.
he's a skinwalker expert of sorts.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that goes back to his Navajo past.
There
But
you go.
anyway, I digress. Danny, I'm sorry,
All right.
Mr. Interruptus.
You're all good. They say there are things you just don't talk about in the open desert, things that move too fast, that watch from the shadows, things that wear the faces of beasts or men. Tonight, I want to tell you all about one of those things. It
It's
being
happening.
feared not just for what it does, but for what it used to be. This is the story of the Skinwalker.
Skinwalker, Skinwalker.
As you mentioned, Scott, in the tradition of the Navajo people.
I'm sorry, that was Marcus, our sound effects guy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's all
Thank you,
good.
thank you, Marcus.
Thank you,
Appreciate that.
Marcus, for that.
Like
yeah.
the echo. Mhm.
In the tradition of the Navajo people, the term, okay, bear with me, Yi-na-lusi. Yi-na-lusi.
Okay, we'll just call him Lucy.
It literally means, with it, he goes on all fours. Literally, apparently.
Kind of like Danny's girlfriend.
Oh, Scott, I'm going to edit that out.
Oh,
Yeah, he goes on all fours, which refers to a witch who has gained the terrible power to shapeshift into animals. But this isn't just some whimsical folk tale about magic and mischief. This is dark magic, forbidden knowledge, a perversion of everything sacred. Becoming a skinwalker isn't an accident, it's a choice. According to the lore, a person must commit the most unforgivable act to gain this power. Can we say the M word? I don't know if we can say unaliving.
The N word?
No,
M.
the M.
Mary.
No, Scott. Scott.
What? What? What is the? I don't know what the M word is.
Clearly, I heard M.
Well, Danny, I don't know what. I don't know what my dilemma with that is. I don't know what the M word is. I know what the N word is.
I think we can say murder. I mean, we had a series called Serial Killers.
Yeah, serial killers. Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
we'll see what it does on YouTube, though. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Might have to
So
bleep
we'll
it out.
say unaliving.
Just cough when you say it, Danny.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We'll say, this is what they say. The safe word on YouTube is unaliving family members. This is how you gain the power.
No, not good enough.
Oh.
That act serves as their bond with humanity and opens the door to something far more sinister. Once transformed, a skinwalker can take the shape of any animal they choose: coyotes, wolves, owls, creatures of the night. But don't be fooled, they are not animals. They walk like beasts, but think like humans, and they hunt. Some say they mimic voices of loved ones calling to you from the trees in the dead of night. Others claim they move with unnatural speed, blurring between the shadows, gone before your eyes can focus. They are said to curse, to kill, to rot your insides from the safety of the hills. And then there's the skin. The most chilling part of the legend is how they wear it. Not their own, but that of an animal which they choose to become. Skinned pellets drape over their bodies like cloaks, flesh as disguise, death as a mask. It's no wonder the Navajo avoid speaking their name. Doing so is said to summon them. In recent years, the legend has bled into mainstream. You probably heard of the famous Skinwalker Ranch, which is a remote stretch of Utah that's become somewhat of a hot spot for paranormal activity, UFOs, strange creatures, electromagnetic anomalies. That's
Skinwalker Ranch, copyright 1999.
44. I did look up the owner for Skinwalker Ranch, but couldn't get him.
He refused to come on the podcast?
Well, I don't know how to get hold of him.
Oh.
Yeah, I tried.
It's probably in their contract not to talk to podcasters.
Yeah. Well, he was on a show not long ago, but apparently the guy he interviewed with took him 4 years to get. But researchers and television crews have tried to explain it, but the land doesn't give up its secrets so easily. Some believe it's cursed, others say it's a portal. But those who've spent time there often leave changed.
Change.
And while pop culture has twisted the Skinwalker into a trope, appearing in TV shows, video games, horror fiction, the original stories are far more unsettling, rather, because they aren't just stories, they're warnings. People tell of hearing their names whispered from the dark by the voices that shouldn't know it, of seeing animals standing just a little too still, a little too aware, a little too human. So if you ever find yourself alone in the desert at night and you hear something call to you, don't answer, don't look, and whatever you do, don't follow it. Because in the land where the skinwalkers roam, not everything that walks on four legs is what it seems.
So what you're saying, if you're alone and you hear your brother calling you or your best friend out in the middle of nowhere, don't answer back.
You wouldn't have to worry about me at all.
What if it was me calling to you,
there's
Scott?
been plenty of times
There would just be a dust trail.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where we've been deep, dark in the Nevada desert, middle of nowhere,
and I'm left all alone
next to Area 51. Tab trips, and he's like, "Hey, Scott, I'm gone. I'm out."
What if I'm calling your name, Scott, out in the woods? I don't even know
you're
where
in
the woods
California.
is.
I'm out. I don't come and help. I think everybody knows that. Because if I come and help, then I get sucked into whatever scary stuff you're in.
Skinwalking going on.
Just better safe than sorry, really.
Yeah, I've heard of stories where people just talk about these creatures and weird things. They like bring it home and
So
weird
hold
things
on.
happen.
Hold on. What?
Yeah.
So why are we doing an episode on these things if you mention these things' names and they show up?
Or even our listeners.
Yeah.
No, well,
Danny,
I guess it depends on what you believe. If
Can I
you
pick a bone?
Right. I mean, if you want to take it that far.
can I pick a bone, Danny?
You're far away from it. Don't worry.
So this is the one topic where you just merely mention the name of it,
Yeah.
Yes.
and we've already mentioned the name how many times?
You got to be in the woods, and you don't even know what a
okay.
woods is. At least according to this.
I found that video, by the way, Danny, not too long
I got to
ago.
see it. I still haven't seen it.
I don't even know what the woods is. They want me to go into the woods. I don't even know what the woods is. I will send that to you because that is hilarious. Hilarious. That goes way back, way back.
That was like the very first video we ever shot.
Yeah, we were like searching for Bigfoot before searching for Bigfoot was cool.
Exactly.
They want me to go into the
Take
woods.
that, Bobo.
I don't even know what the woods is.
Yeah.
All right, so don't say its name. Don't talk
Yeah.
about it.
What do you guys think about skinwalkers? What is the? I've heard them referred to as mimics before as well.
Right.
Obviously, coming out of the Navajo lore, they are said to take the shape of different creatures and also mimic family members or people, loved ones, to get you to pull you in.
Right.
I don't know. They
I
have
guess
superhuman speed and such. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, what is the attraction of becoming a skinwalker? I mean, it sounds like
You're just pure evil to begin with.
So
in
you
order to be a skinwalker, you have to want it. So you have to sort of be evil just to begin with. There's no
And you have to take an action, like
Right.
right. It just seems like a miserable
job.
life to me.
So I got a question for you, Danny. Speaking
Yeah.
of these walkers, I'm not gonna say their name.
S-walkers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say their name.
S-walkers.
What is the difference, Danny,
Swackers.
between a walker and a Wendigo? Because the Wendigo is also from tribal backgrounds, and from what I recall from the Wendigo episode, it was very similar to these walkers, these
Are Wendigos-
flesh walkers.
Are Wendigos shapeshifters?
Yeah,
I don't know that they're shapeshifters, are they?
yeah.
Wendigo.
The Wendigo is from the Ojibwe tribe, Ojibwe tribe,
Good
and
job.
it's a cannibalistic spirit that also manifests through transformation.
Yeah. I don't
According to my
recall-
notes from the Wendigo episode.
I don't
Thanks to
recall
Paul.
them- Yeah,
He has your
I thought it
notes.
it was Miguel.
Oh, Miguel.
Thank you, Miguel, for those
Miguel,
old
the note
notes that you
holder.
handed in front of me.
I don't remember what the Wendigo, other than it's the shape of a stag. I remember like a stag and had horns and
Yeah.
antlers rather. But we watched the movie Antlers. Otherwise, I do remember some version of cannibalism, some like cannibalism involved with them, and Wendigo psychosis or something. Kind of being attributed to the stories. I don't know. This one is. They are said to be, as I understand it, witches and practicing dark magic. And so I think Wendigo, I don't know how you become a Wendigo. I think I don't know. I don't remember.
So, do these walkers, are they able to transform into, I mean, they're shapeshifters, right? So, the history that I've read and seen regarding them, they usually shapeshift into dogs or something on four legs, I guess. Wolves,
Yeah.
dogs, stuff like that. Can they transform to like a human?
Yes.
Because
It's my
if you
understanding.
hear voices, it's your buddy calling you out, or
Right, and they
your
can just-
mother who's deceased that's calling you out. Are they able to shapeshift into the form of a human, or does it have to be a four-legged creature?
Or a blank slate.
My my understanding is that they can shift into a creature of their choosing. Whether or not they can change into a person that is familiar to you or not themselves, I don't know. But I've heard them referenced in the same breath as something called a mimic. which apparently does have that ability to exactly mimic. It's like a shadow of or an echo of another being, another person.
Right.
And so I've heard them kind of blended together. You probably have some blending of the different abilities. And mimics are said to be able to transform into people and or objects, people, animals, or objects. So those chairs you're sitting on, it's going to get awkward.
So the Skinwalker Ranch, I've never seen that television show, Skinwalker Ranch, but that's in Utah, from what I recall.
Yeah.
Do they? So that also is much like that location that we went to up in Mount Adams, East Ranch, where
He said it. Yeah.
right. So much like East Ranch, Skinwalker Ranch has a multitude of a variety of paranormal activity that's going on: UFOs, cattle mutilations,
Yeah, paranormal
all of
activity.
that stuff. But it seems to be focusing on the blank walkers.
We'll just call them swackers.
So do the blank walkers have anything to do with UFOs? Why is there a high concentration at that particular ranch with cattle
Yeah.
mutilations, UFO activity? Usually you get one or the other, right? You're at a location that's known for Bigfoot. You're at a location that's known for UFOs. But this particular location, Blank Ranch, much like the East Ranch, has all these a variety of different things going on. Why do you think that is?
That is a big question mark. I guess some from what I hear have attributed it to the land that the ranch sits on and what it was used for in the past. I don't know exactly what that is from the past, but it's my understanding that I thought I read something about a portal or something along those lines, is the claim to have all these different things, kind of a confluence of those different things. Isetti had some of the same things, right? UFOs, paranormal. I remember a lot of paranormal talk there, and I think it was primarily those two. But allegedly, there's something to do with the land there and maybe the location where they are.
Has anyone seen that show?
I have not.
I have not.
Is
I
there
started to try and watch it before, but
is there
dang
I
it.
know that they have the place just because it's a TV show obviously, but that they have the place just loaded with cameras, and I'm just wondering if they've ever caught anything on camera or anything that makes you go,
There's a security lead for the site. That's actually, I was joking about contacting the owner, but I was going to try and contact the security guy, but just ran out of time before I could get to it by the time we decided.
To have him
But
on
just
as
to
a
try
guest.
and, yeah, to try and like, hey, we work in that same kind of industry. Why don't we, bro, hook a brother
Yeah.
up and come talk to us
you
about
look
what
you
your
look
experience has
fabulous, by the way, Danny.
been. Oh, I thank you.
You look fabulous. The
As though
shirt
you
and
say.
the background you got going on there. It's
Yeah,
very natural looking.
thank you. I
Yeah.
feel very majestic.
So
Yeah.
nobody knows of any video or any sort of evidence whatsoever of these alleged blank walkers.
Well, I did watch some YouTube videos of what people are calling skinwalkers, and they kind of look more like hairless, kind of shaped like humanoid, but I don't know what you would call them. Kind of like a naked white being. I don't know how to. It's skinny and long arms,
Yeah.
but you're describing it completely different. They can be humanoid or more of an animal. So
Yeah. Here's some signs that you might be encountering a skinwalker.
okay,
If you see an animal acting strangely, especially if they seem to observe and follow you, right? There's a fixation with you, as from that animal, maybe different from usual. Now, I have a husky and a shepherd, the absolute wrong dogs to have if you want any privacy around here. So maybe I live with these skinwalkers. I don't know, but they seem to follow me everywhere I go in my house. So, but hearing a loved one's voice calling from the woods, I don't even know what the woods is. When you when you know they aren't there, when you know they aren't there, seeing a figure just on the edge of the vision of your vision that quickly vanishes. It could be a cataract or something like that, but a sudden feeling of dread, nausea, or hearing footsteps on rooftops in remote areas. That's weird. And then also repeated sightings of the same animal. That would be creepy.
Yeah.
Like see the same animal
Over.
watching you, especially across long distances. And that would be an awkward encounter. Again, though, huskies have pretty good noses, so they'd probably find me.
I've got the sound of a skinwalker.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you suppose a skinwalker sounds like?
From our friend Jack and Coke at YouTube has this skinwalker scream.
That was really loud.
That was from his front porch. One more time.
Yeah, just turn it down a little bit.
Seems to be something after it.
Yeah.
Almost like a bird sound right after the scream. Kind of weird. One more time. Is that what a skinwalker sounds like, Danny?
Yes. The last time I heard one.
Sounded like your mom calling you for dinner?
Yes. Get up here, boy. Yes. I don't know. I suppose it could sound like, anything. I don't know that I've heard them scream, but I imagine that's probably shooting attacked one of the last things you might hear.
Speaking of screams, I think it's going to be in our best interest on our next road trip to stop at that truck stop that we saw, Tab. I think I sent you the link to that.
In
the howling and the screaming in the woods.
Yeah, that was in Weed, California.
Weed, California.
Yeah, it was supposedly Sasquatch howling.
How far is that?
Middle of the night.
How far is that from you, Danny?
4 hours.
Yeah, it's about between.
So it's
actually
it's
less
between
than that
halfway mark.
It's probably about
Mount Shasta
third
area.
of the way.
We could send you over there by yourself.
Yeah.
You'd probably do that. You'd probably do it, right?
It's actually not a bad drive to get there. Usually, this is my first stop going from here to there is in Weed.
Yeah.
So it's probably 2 to 3 hours, actually.
Yeah, it just
4 hours would put me in Medford.
Gas is super expensive there.
Yes, so crazy.
Do you guys have any idea how you kill a skinwalker?
Did you just said the word?
Well, there's several ways, according to the tribal history.
Okay.
Use of the true name. In some Navajo stories, if you know the skinwalker's human identity or real name, you can kill them by publicly saying it out loud. This act strips them of their power and causes them to die either instantly or shortly after. See, these are all reasons, Danny, why our last episode, it's like my team that I came up with, the brothers from Supernatural, would be the best because they know how to kill everything, including skinwalkers. Guess what else, guys? What have in our killing monsters pocket, what has been probably the most known for killing all monsters universally?
Oh, I don't know, killing with the counting thing or burning it.
How
Its head off and burning
how about silver bullets?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This one's more Hollywood than Navajo, unfortunately, but stories from the Skinwalker Ranch era and cryptid lore sometimes say that silver bullets, particularly to the neck or head, can end a skinwalker's life. So I think that's why it's important to have like an arsenal of stuff.
Right.
Because like you go out there going, I got my silver bullet, and it doesn't work. Then you revert to calling its name. But what if you don't know its name?
Well,
you just run through a list really quick.
Bob, Fred,
Ted,
not gonna know their
Mark,
name. You're gonna
James,
have to try
Danny.
You're gonna have to fool them.
It reminds me of the Rumpelstiltskin story.
Mm-hmm.
Wilhelm.
Jakob. Bless you. Some legends mention white ash bullets, which are tied more closely to Native American ritual magic. So how do you generate a white ash bullet? I guess just during the bullet making process, instead of put
a little white ash in with
a little white ash in with it.
Just like roll it around in there or something.
So are you making notes, Danny, so that we can have this in our arsenal?
We don't you guys have the notebook there though? Isn't it back there on the counter?
Yeah. Okay.
We need it in our book of
okay. We'll add
spells
that.
And
we'll add
incantations.
That. Yeah, we'll add that. You guys know where as far as hotspots are concerned, skinwalker hotspots in the U.S. Where do you think
It's more in the desert.
Where do you think
right?
you're going to find them?
Areas,
Find
so
them mostly.
Southwest.
If we want to plan,
maybe
if we want to plan a trip to find them, where are we going?
Arizona.
Very good, Danny. Arizona, I believe, is number one. Tab?
Yeah.
What, number 2?
Just any place, maybe. Anything might be on the list.
Nevada?
Nevada. Probably a good guess. It's not on here, but the Navajo
New
Nation.
Mexico?
Navajo Nation. So primarily where the Navajo Nation is sort of based would be Arizona, New Mexico, Utah. And the significance basically is that it's a cultural origin of the Skinwalker legend. And the Navajo land spans over 27,000 square miles across
That's a lot of
the United
squares.
States. Yeah. Local residents have passed down stories of creatures running alongside cars at highway speeds, human-animal hybrids peering into windows, and mysterious disfigurements of livestock. Yeah, and that's obviously tied to the spiritual beliefs. Number 2 on that list would be where? Skinwalker Ranch and the
Utah.
United Basin, Utah. And basically they're saying it's the Area 51 of paranormal activity. And since the 1970s, that particular private property has been the epicenter of stories involving skinwalker sightings, UFOs and orbs, poltergeist-like activity, and cattle mutilations. And then the number 3 would be the Four Corners region. That's where Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona meet. The intersection of the multiple native tribes and sacred lands. It's also a magnet for strange phenomena like phantom creatures, UFOs, and a lot of people go missing in those particular areas.
Batteries.
Number 4. Number 4 is Highway 491. Do you know what that was formerly known as, Danny?
The road to nowhere. I don't know.
No. Highway 491 was formerly known as
I don't know.
Highway
Route 66?
666.
Oh,
3 6s, yeah.
interesting.
Was formerly known as the Devil's Highway, and it ran through parts of New Mexico and Arizona. And they say that there's a lot of sightings there because a notorious stretch linked with accidents, eerie creatures running across the roads, and vanishing hitchhikers. Navajo travelers have reported run-ins with the shape-shifting figures along this road. But I mean, what do you think is going to happen when you're traveling down Highway 666? Like if there's an alternate route, it's like you're looking at Google Maps and it's like, oh, hey, take a left on Route 666, and then you can say, oh, wait, there's another way I can go that's going to take me an hour and a half longer. I'm going like the hour and a half longer.
Right.
I'm not going.
I'd drive it.
You would go down Highway 666?
Yeah, why not?
Well, you're weird. You're weird anyway.
We're all a little weird.
Would you take your? Let's ask this. Would you take your mom with you? If your mom was the passenger?
I'd stay on the phone with her.
No, if she was in your car and you had to take Route 666 or take Highway 26, it took 2.5 hours longer. Do you take your mom down?
We'd probably take 26.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if there was a buffet.
Mother's Day's tomorrow, so that was a good answer. That was a good answer.
A buffet.
Yeah. Wait, what? You had me
on
at
Route
buffet.
26.
But if there, let's think about this for a second.
Well, what if there was a buffet on
Route 666? Yeah.
Dilemma.
Let me think about that. Cracker Barrel. There's a Cracker Barrel or
In-N-Out
Bob's Burgers on Route 26. I don't know. The Cracker Barrel is pretty tempting, but I still don't think I would go down for a buffet, like a really good Vegas style buffet.
What about time in the day? What if it was during the day?
No, doesn't matter
What
because
if they had
you go down that route and then everything gets dark.
Oh,
yeah.
So there's a time shift.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go down Route 666. It's daytime, but as soon as you get on that highway, everything goes dark. It goes dark.
Okay.
What if they had those grilled Brussels sprouts from the Wolf Creek Inn?
The Wolf Creek Inn, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Those were good Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Those were good. But I'm still staying off Route 666. Do we have any idea why all these, hotbed of sighting locations for these alleged blank walkers, why the U.S. military has such a strong presence in those certain areas? Is it coincidence, you think?
Probably not. Probably the same reason,
Do you see more gift shops along those routes.
Yeah. It's like dangling the carrot. Look over here. Don't worry about the other stuff.
Is this a location that you guys think we should?
No.
Would you guys investigate it?
I don't want to dabble in it.
No. I know Danny would go.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Road trip. Yep.
If we had a Skinwalker hotspot, would you go by yourself?
Yeah. There's one near me, apparently.
Is there?
Up in Shasta. Is that what you guys said?
I didn't say Shasta.
No,
We said Shasta.
we were talking about the Sasquatch sound that was at a truck stop, and it was in
Weed.
In Weed, yeah.
Oh.
I think that was big.
But there is a Skinwalker in Shasta.
I don't know.
I would
That
love to
would-
go to Shasta because there's a lot of crazy stuff there,
Yeah.
including
that's right.
UFO,
We should do a
UFO
Mount
and
Shasta
Bigfoot.
episode.
You guys ready to move on? Northwest Curiosity Society brings you
What the was that?
Tab. What do you got for us?
I've got a sound for you.
WTF?
This one's gonna sound really familiar, but you're never gonna guess what it is.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. One more time.
Okay.
Closer to the mic. I know exactly what that is. That's the dinner bell.
Marimba.
Somebody's hungry.
It's
That's the dinner bell.
it almost. I thought it was metal, but then it was like glass for a minute. I thought, oh,
You want to do it
man.
one more time?
Yeah.
I gotta, because they almost say what it is, right where the sound starts. So hold on, here it goes.
See, I think it started out as glass and then it was metal.
Well, you gotta at least try.
I said dinner bell.
Okay, dinner bell.
I live
Scott
in
says dinner bell.
I live in
okay, I
the
have a
country.
guess. It sounds like a tire rim. Somebody's hitting something.
Yeah,
a tire
that's
rim.
what it sounds like to me too. But what it is, it's called the Singing Boulders in Montana.
It's a thing. It's a thing making the...
Well, these boulders, the way they're created, they make that sound when you hit them,
Oh.
which is very not boulder-like.
So it's
I
like a
guess.
rock?
It's a rock.
Play that
And
one more time now that I know what it is.
People are banging a hammer on a rock, and they make these tones.
Wow.
Wow, that does not sound like a rock.
Yeah. So
It sounds more
I
like
saw
Iran.
that a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that was pretty interesting.
I was going to say that maybe that was the sound of the spaceship landing on the moon. Ding!
Yeah.
We don't talk about that. Superstructures.
Oh.
So now we need to take a hammer with us everywhere we go and try to find singing rocks in Oregon.
Yeah.
Just start banging.
It almost
people's
seems
heads
like
with
the
it.
rock is fake.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a sound for you guys.
Oh, you have a sound.
Guess that sound. Danny, you want to hear that again?
It's
You want to hear it again?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
okay, Danny. Yes.
What do you think it is?
It's a peanut butter cup.
No, it's me putting my
I don't know.
spit guard back on my microphone.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you guys ready to move on?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Northwest Curiosity Society brings you Fact or Crap. Fact or crap, what do you got for us, Danny?
All right, I'm going to put a little twist on this one for you guys. So, I'm going to give you two stories, okay? I'm going to read you two stories, and I want you to tell me which one is fact and which one is crap,
Okay.
okay? All right, so the first story, we'll call it The Hitchhiker Who Wasn't There.
Whoa.
In 2002, a group of college students driving through northern Arizona near the Navajo Nation picked up a young man walking along the highway just past midnight.
I'm
He
sorry,
was
what year was
quiet.
this? What year was it?
2002.
Okay.
Yeah. he was quiet, only nodding when asked where he was headed. As they drove, he suddenly said, "You shouldn't have picked me up," and then vanished completely from their back seat. No sound, no trace. The group, understandably shaken, later learned that other travelers had reported seeing the same silent hitchhiker in the same area for decades, always disappearing before reaching the end of town. Locals say he's the spirit of a medicine man cursed to wander the land, or possibly a victim of Skinwalker's wrath. All right.
I feel like he should have said, "Thanks for picking me up," instead of "You shouldn't have picked me up."
Yeah. That
Yeah,
wouldn't be very
I wonder what that
Skinwalker-like.
means. What does
Yeah.
that mean? I mean, they picked him up and then he disappears. I mean, what's the ramifications?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Did they die?
Are they haunted for the rest of their lives?
But did you die? That's the end of the story.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So do we get to hear both stories and then we can pick?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll read you the next one.
Is this
All
going to take
The
long?
next one, nope.
Good.
The next one we'll call The Goat Man at Gila Bend. This story takes place in 1998. A man camping with friends near Gila Bend in Arizona claimed that he encountered a half-man, half-goat creature that stepped into the firelight, bleated in a human voice, and mimicked their laughter. The creature allegedly followed them back to town, showing up the next day at the man's workplace, this time wearing a cowboy hat and whistling the same tune they had heard sung by the fire. That guy was terrified so much that he quit his job and moved to Ohio. The goat man was never seen again, but other sightings popped up in the following years, including one where the creature was spotted riding a bicycle through the Sonic drive-thru.
Number one is definitely true if you believe it. I don't think that any of these would
Yeah, I
actually be
mean,
fact.
Yeah, you
but
can't.
but the story told number one is more believable than the story told number two.
What makes it more believable?
Well,
Or what makes the second one less
so
believable?
the first one is believable because they were college students. So the
Yeah.
story that they're telling, they might have just been super high and driving down the road and, came up with this story.
I have a question. Now, is one of these stories your own story that you made up?
Yes.
Okay.
One is fact, one is crap.
Okay.
Number two is definitely crap.
But Danny throws those twisters in there.
No.
He'll make up one that's
riding
believable.
a bicycle
And then
through
he'll
the
come
Sonic
across the
drive-thru.
story about at the end of the story it was what happened at the Sonic?
He rode a bicycle. He was seen riding a bicycle through the Sonic
And that's
drive-thru.
probably going to be the one that's true.
No. I'd be willing to put $100 on it. Number one's not
You're
fact,
very
but
confident about it.
I'm going to go with number
Although-
two, just to be different.
Although there's Goat Man, he did bleat.
Goat man.
no.
He did bleat in a human voice.
No.
I'm
right.
going to go with number two.
Okay. Well, you're going to lose $100.
I'm not. I didn't
You're
do
losing.
that. That was you.
Danny's losing $100.
Yeah, apparently.
You can.
So, story one is true.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yay.
widely shared and documented tale from multiple witnesses in the Four Corners area. Versions of it have appeared in local newspapers, books, and Native American ghost lore. There you go.
I knew it. I knew they would no sightings
I
of anything
knew- I
creepy
knew it,
riding a
too.
bicycle through Sonic. Although that sounds really good, and the nearest Sonic is like an hour and 5 minutes from here. But
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
delicious. Mine is 15 minutes away.
you know what we have now, Danny?
Sizzler.
Oh, Sizzler. No, we have a Sizzler, but we have a In-N-Out
Oh, look at that.
in Oregon.
Nice.
You guys ready to move on?
Let's do it.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
A newsflash.
Danny, our man on the street.
A news flash.
NWCS Newsflash.
Yeah, wow.
Did you know?
Newsflash.
Did you know you were in charge of this segment?
I did.
Okay, so you read your
I
outline.
thought we were doing the song, but we flipped it, I think.
The song
well,
is the song is the outro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Yeah. All right.
Might have been asleep during that meeting
Probably.
/ discussion, but no, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
go ahead.
interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
All right. So
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
this story is called The Ohio Lockdowns, Skinwalkers, or Social Media Panic. Apparently, and this is a true story, in 2024, so just a couple of years ago or a year ago, a strange wave of panic swept across social media, particularly TikTok, of course. The videos started small, grainy hallway clips, shaking voices, whispering, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And then came the headlines. Schools in Ohio were locking down one after another, and the reason, allegedly sightings of skinwalkers. So the shape-shifting witches from the Navajo lore, thousands of miles from the Southwest, supposedly walking the halls of Ohio's middle schools. The most viral videos showed students claiming to hear voices outside their classrooms, voices that sounded like their teachers or friends, but weren't. Some said they heard their names being called from empty hallways. Others claimed to see figures watching from behind lockers, only to disappear when approached. One video showed an empty hallway with a long, slow shadow crawling across the lockers. Another, a bathroom mirror reflecting what looked like a crouched animal figure just out of the frame. It didn't take long for the Skinwalker or the hashtag Skinwalker sighting and hashtag Ohio lockdown started to trend. But here's where fact and fiction begin to blur. Local school officials quickly stepped in. The lockdowns, they were real. The lockdowns were real, but they were due to unrelated security drills and, in some cases, false alarms. No evidence of any creature, figure, or threat was ever officially reported by law enforcement. Yeah. In a statement to the press, one district superintendent called it, quote, a classic case of internet hysteria. Still, the students told a different story. Some refused to come back to the school. A few claimed what they saw or heard was real.
Snow day.
Yeah, exactly. Even after being disciplined for the rumors, others said it was a prank. It was a warning. Now, skeptics say the whole thing was a classic TikTok trend gone too far. Mass suggestion feeding teenage imaginations. But believers, they say the fact that these voices mimic people the students knew matches traditional accounts of skinwalkers and mimics, entities that lure their victims in familiar voices, waiting for someone to take the mistake of answering. What really happened in that week? Was it a viral ghost story born from bored students and social media algorithms, or did something older and darker find its way into the school halls? You decide.
I think it was just they wanted snow days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snow days or something's in the water.
Snow days.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't
Do they
drink
get
the
those in
water.
Ohio?
I don't know. I think
News
so.
story of the day.
How about I throw this out real quick? So during my intro, Scott, my little thing. What's up?
No.
What's up?
No. That's awful.
You don't like that?
No.
Danny?
Yeah, no, it's no.
All right. Well,
Back to the drawing board.
we'll move on then.
What's up? This can be an editing nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, you ready to move on?
Let's do it.
Before we move on, I just want to say I'm titillated by the outline that you provided regarding the number 8 special mystery segment, because I have been waiting patiently, longingly.
Yeah.
Is this
longingly?
Gonna be it?
I don't know. I don't know if it is it or not.
Hang on a second. My
Whoa,
dog is going crazy.
Okay. All right. I seriously thought the Skinwalkers were after.
It's a schwacker.
Can you hear him?
Did somebody say hello?
Hello.
I would love to play that back. Somebody said hello.
Yeah.
Do your dogs talk to you? Danny, I'm so glad that was your dogs. Holy cow. I might have pooped myself a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's cracking? What's crack-lacking? You
Did
like
you hear
that?
something?
No,
You like that?
no,
No.
no.
What's crack?
The dogs like
Is this
it, I
going to
guess.
stop at some point? So maybe wasn't that one of the signs?
Yes, I suppose so.
What are your dogs doing right now?
And what do they need to shut up? Like, what do we need?
Yeah,
to
Don't
do?
they
he's
realize
done.
we're
He's
podcasting?
done. Yeah, so here's how it goes. I play music for them in the living room. And one of the channels that I play for them happens to have a squeaky toy sound.
Oh.
So he goes crazy for squeaky toys.
And you decided to do that while podcasting.
Well, it's playing to keep them calm, and it's on rotate, and it just played the squeaky toy sound.
I see.
And I looked on my phone, and I saw that it was exactly that squeaky toy. So I just paused it, and he's done.
So, I was crossing my fingers that this mystery segment that you came up with, I have no idea what it is because it's a mystery, but I'm really hoping that it may be paranormal beings related, because I remember Danny said that he was going to come up with an episode of paranormal beings. Then he changed it because he said, "Oh yeah, all that information has been deleted from the internet, and I have no
It's a conspiracy.
I have no information on that. But I will come up with a bit." He said, "I will come up with a bit, a segment, a bit." So I'm hoping.
I don't know that I said bit, but okay.
I think you said bit.
Maybe he said seg.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm crossing my fingers. This is we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see what it is.
All right. Well, I can tell you this. It's a campfire story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Turn it down. Turn that campfire down. There we go.
Yeah. It is definitely a campfire story that I will share with you all. And let's call this episode The Beans That Whisper.
Oh, yay!
All right.
I'm so excited.
The Beans That Whisper. Thank you. They say it happened out near the Yuba Gap, just beyond the abandoned rest stop with the broken vending machines and that one porta potty no one dares open. A kind of place where GPS dies and the fog rolls in like it's unfinished business. That's where the five of us, Scott, Danny, Tab, Jesse, Rob, decided to investigate a completely made-up legend that started with misheard lyrics. By whom, I don't know. See, it all began when I, Danny, misheard our podcast intro and asked, "Did we say paranormal beings?" And instead of correcting me, the team ran with it. Scott, our fearless leader, who once screamed at a floating napkin, decided we should chase this lead. He claimed he found a reference in an old seed catalog that read, "Don't soak under a blood moon." So we went, because obviously that's what well-adjusted adults do. We arrived at a bean field that felt off. The air was thick. The plants were too straight. Rob, our resident fixer, tripped on a root and broke our only working tripod. Danny, that's me, got excited, said, "Guys, did you know beans were feared by the Pythagoreans? And they were considered ancient legumes of doom?" Tab, the voice of reason, replied, "They're beans, Danny, not ghost grenades." Jesse, who only came back for snacks, grunted, "If one of these things moves, I'm punching it." Then Scott leaned in too close and swore. A pod blinked at him. He jumped hard again. That night, things escalated. I found a single black bean in my gear bag, written on it in tiny scratch marks. "Soak me." Tab heard whispers coming from our recorder. 2-day shipping, Prime only, beware. Rob tried to dissect one. Our lights flickered, our drone activated, and kamikazes straight into Jesse's forehead. And then the kettle screamed. I had boiled the bean for science, of course, you know. The water turned black. The microwave beeped in Morse code. The fridge whispered, "They're inside the hummus. They're inside the hummus." The next morning, all of our files were corrupted. Our voice recorders were fried. Scott locked himself in the bathroom and texted us goodbye. Jesse's protein shake turned into lentil stew. Rob built a containment unit of PVC and duct tape. And Tab just quietly started Googling gluten-free exorcisms. We tried to post the episode. All that uploaded was static and one clear word, rooted. Now, we don't eat beans at all. We don't talk about the Yuba Gap incident, and we definitely don't reply to listener emails that say, "Hey, I found a bean under my pillow after that episode. Should I soak it?" ? No, you should not, because once you do, you don't digest the bean. The bean digests you.
Ooh.
Ooh. I got my paranormal bean.
Paranormal beans.
All right, gentlemen, amazing episode. Yet another amazing episode. We've got some fabulous episodes coming up.
And a new outro songs.
Song. But wait till the end of the
There's
outro song
Oh.
for my intro.
Your intro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the ponds where the silence crawls, hear your name but no one calls. Footsteps fall when no one stands. Shadows beckon with twisted hands. Don't answer when it calls. It's not the one you knew at all. Eyes too wide, smile too thin, but you let it in, won't leave again. Moonlight breaks on fur and bone. It walks like kin, but not alone. Whispers stitched from stories told. Blood and ancient cold. Haunted screams in silent trees. Voices baying, come to me. Mirrors at your face, you are, but you ain't safe here anymore. Don't answer when it calls. And then your brother down the hall. In the dark, they learn your name. And nothing human plays that game. Don't answer when it calls. It's not the one you knew at all. Eyes too wide, smile too thin. What you let in won't leave again. Don't answer when it calls. It's not the one you knew at all. Eyes too wide, smile too thin. What you let in won't leave again. Moonlight breaks on fur and bone. It walks like kin, but not alone. Whisper stitched from stories told of cursed blood and ancient cold. Haunted screams in silent trees. Voices baying, come to me. Mirrors edge a face you wore, but you ain't safe here anymore. We are the Northwest Curiosity Society, and this is Into the Dark.
Howdy. Howdy.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it.
All right.
Sold.
Thank you, Tab, for that wonderful outro song.
Yes.
Skinwalker related.
Yes. I guess that's
And-
my new tab. task.
Yeah, you're the audio video guy. Well, along with our team. You're head of the audio technical videos.
Yeah, we'll see how this first YouTube visual.
Brandon, right? Brandon.
Marcus.
Mark, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, thank you for listening. Nighty night.
Bye.
Nighty night.
Night.
Sounds.
Night. Good
Bye.
night.
Deuces.
Night. Good night.